The Rebellion of China, Records of the Struggle for Hegemony Among 10,000 Dynasties. Chapter 1, The Intersection of Reality and Illusion, The Collapse of All Worlds. The Shenzhou continent, originally the place where all worlds converge, went through countless fusions of the virtual and the real, and finally in a large-scale spatial tremor, the 10,000 worlds collapsed, and the virtual and the real were united. The heroes and heroes, the common people and grass people who have long been turned into dust in history, have reappeared on this boundless land. The first Emperor Yingzheng, the Hanwu Emperor Lu Che, the Guangwu Emperor Lu Xiu, and the Tang Taizong Li Shimin. Zhu Wen, Chai Rong, Sun Quan, Cao. Countless heroes and heroes, Zhen Mi, Xiao Qiao, Diao Chan, Zhao Feiyan. Beauty like a cloud. With their own memories and strength, they embarked on a new journey, wanting to write their own legends again in this chaotic land. Chapter 2, The Son of the Other World, The Wheel of Fate. In this chaotic torrent, a young man from modern times, Lin Mo, accidentally crossed over to the Shenzhou continent. He was originally just an ordinary college student, but due to an accident, he became a key figure in this battle for hegemony. Lin Mo found that he had the ability to control time and space, and was able to travel through different historical time and space, and meet heroes and heroes of various eras. He decided to use this power to rewrite history and find a way back to the modern age. Chapter 3, Heroes Gathered, The World Trend. In the process of shuttling through various eras, Lin Mo met many like-minded heroes. He became brothers with Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei, and conspired with Zhuliang in the world, fight side by side with Li Shimin and fight against foreign enemies with Yu Fei. In this chaotic land, Lin Mo gradually established his own power and launched a fierce battle with the major forces. The general trend of the world will be divided for a long time, and it will be divided for a long time. Lin Mo knew that only by unifying the world could this endless war end. Chapter 4, Intrigue and Betrayal, The Test of Trust. However, the road to unification was not easy. Divisions arose within Lin Mo's forces, with some beginning to question his leadership skills, and some even secretly colluding with hostile forces. In an important battle, Lin Mo was betrayed, which led to the rout of the army and heavy losses. He began to wonder if he really had the ability to unify the world, and whether he deserved the trust of these heroes and heroes. During this low period, Lin Mo re-examined his beliefs and decided to regain his strength and lead everyone out of the predicament. Chapter 5, The Peak of the Decisive Battle, The Choice of Fate. After some hard work, Lin Mo reorganized his army and launched a final decisive battle with the major forces. In this battle related to the fate of the world, Lin Mo is faced with a difficult choice: should he stick to his beliefs, or give up his principles for the sake of victory? In the end, Lin Mo chose to stick to his beliefs, and with wisdom and courage, he led the army to victory. The world was finally reunified, the war ended, and the people were able to live and work in peace and contentment. Chapter 6, Back to Modernity, New Beginnings. After the end of the war, Lin Mo found that his abilities were gradually disappearing, and the passage through time and space was gradually closed. He knew he was about to return to the modern age. After bidding farewell to these heroes, Lin Mo returned to modern times and lived an ordinary life again. However, this experience gave him a new perspective on life, and he decided to devote himself to historical research, recording this legendary story and letting more people know about this forgotten history. Chapter 7, Back in Time, Destiny Begins Again. When Lin Mo thought that he had returned to the modern era and that this chapter of history had finally ended, he found himself standing in the boundless Shenzhou continent again. He felt a strange and familiar force surging around him, as if this cycle of history had not ended, but had just begun. This time, Lin Mo did not simply go back to the past, but re-entered a new time and space. In this time and space, there are not only the reappearance of historical figures, but also some technological and mysterious forces from the future. Lin Mo found that the history of China in China has become extremely chaotic, and the disorder of time and space has led to the staggered rebirth of heroes and heroes from different eras, and countless mysterious characters and mechanical warriors from the future have also begun to operate on the continent to compete for the resources and power of this magical land. Chapter 8, Regrouping, Intergenerational Alliance. Lin Mo once again formed an alliance that spanned different eras, and this time the alliance included not only traditional historical figures, but also future warriors and super technology masters. Together with ancient heroes such as Ying Zheng and Lu Che, he fought against powerful enemies from the future. These beings from the future have extremely powerful scientific and technological powers and abilities, and they try to merge the real world with the future world by crossing time and space, and change the rules of the entire world. In the process, Lin Mo discovered that this challenge was not a simple war, but a test of fate across time and space. He began to wonder if he was really the central figure in the chaos, or if it was all just a clever arrangement of fate. Chapter 9, The Truth is Uncovered, and the Fog is Heavy. As time passed, Lin Mo gradually discovered that this multi-dimensional staggering of time and space was not accidental. In the process of traveling through time and space, he accidentally discovers a hidden secret. He is not just an outsider, but one of the creators of this time and space collapse. His birth is closely related to the fate of this land, and the power he possesses comes from an unknown source. Lin Mo was shocked by this discovery, and he began to question whether what he had done was just a large-scale experiment, and whether he was just a pawn in the arrangement of fate. Faced with this hidden truth, Lin Mo had to re-examine his relationship with the hero and the future enemy. Chapter 10, The Final Showdown, The Choice of History. As the truth is revealed, Lin Mo and his alliance decide to launch a final showdown and start a fateful war against enemies from the future. In this war, the wisdom of ancient heroes and the power of future technology will collide fiercely. However, when Lin Mo confronted the enemy leader, he suddenly realized a profound truth: whether it was in the past or in the future, the true power of heroes and strong men comes from their control over their own destiny, not from the force or technology they possess. He decided to put aside all strife and hatred and choose to end this war of time and space in a peaceful way. Chapter 11, Reshaping China, Beyond Time and Space. After the final duel, Lin Mo successfully reshaped the space-time structure of the Shenzhou continent. He fused the heroes of all eras with the forces of the future to create a whole new world, a world of peace and prosperity where both ancient and future beings could live in harmony. However, Lin Mo found that this new world is not flawless, and there are still forces and contradictions that constantly challenge the status quo. As he realized, the power of heroes and strong men does not come from external technology or force, but from the inner choice of fate. In the end, Lin Mo decided to stay on this land and become a new generation of wise men in this world, leading people to a brighter future. He is no longer just the intersection of the past and the future, but has become an existence that transcends time and space, bringing the wisdom of history and the power of the future to this continent. Chapter 12, The Wheel of Eternity, The Cycle of Fate. At the end of the story, Lin Mo stood on the high place of the Shenzhou continent, looking at the boundless sky. He knows that no matter how time passes, history will always repeat itself, and he will continue to shoulder the responsibility of leading the world into a new era. In the countless passage of time, this new world will continue to evolve, the legends of heroes and heroes will continue to be written, and the story of Lin Mo will also become a part of history and will be passed on forever. Chapter 13, Reweaving of Time and Space, The Trial of Destiny. With Lin Mo's hard work in the new era, the space-time structure of the Shenzhou continent gradually stabilized. Each hero has his or her own place, but the balance of the world remains fragile. Lin Mo knew that it was impossible for this land to be in peace and stability for a long time, and the chaos of time and space still existed in the deep-seated corners, waiting for the challenge of those who had a heart. As time progresses, the power from the future does not disappear completely, but quietly grows in some hidden realms. Lin Mo found that these powers are not just technology, but also contain mysterious energy beyond human comprehension, and can even reopen the rift in time and space, summon back historical figures from the past, and affect the fate of this continent. Just then, a mysterious organization called the Time Chaser appeared. They come from the future world and have more advanced technology and power than modern humans. Their purpose is not simple, but they want to use the reweaving of time and space to achieve their ultimate goal, to rule the multidimensional structure of time and space, and control the fate of all eras. Chapter 14, The Conspiracy of the Time Chaser. The leader of the Hour Chaser, named Xiuan, is a super being from the future. He has the power to travel through time and space, and can summon the soul of any hero in history to control him. His ultimate goal is to merge the history of all eras into a unified time and space, which will serve as the cornerstone of the future world. After Lin Mo discovered this conspiracy, he decided to lead his alliance and start an unprecedented showdown with the Time Chaser. In his alliance, there are not only ancient heroes such as Liu Che and Li Shimin, but also masters of science and technology from the future and owners of mysterious powers. This war is not only a collision of science and technology and force, but also a contest of wisdom and faith. Chapter 15, A Decisive Battle Across Time and Space. Under Lin Mo's leadership, the alliance has waged countless fierce battles against the Time Chaser. The two sides travel back and forth through the cracks of time and space, using ancient wisdom and futuristic technology to confront. Every battle is a challenge to the rules of time and space, and every breakthrough will change the structure of the world. The duel between Lin Mo and Xiuan became the climax of this battle. The two not only fought physically, but also fought fiercely on the spiritual level. Xiuan tried to use his control of time and space to destroy Lin Mo's will and erase him from history. However, Lin Mo used his deep understanding of fate to break the seal of time and space, and conducted a final duel between himself and the power of the Time Chaser. Chapter 16, The Rebirth of Time and Space, Endless Reincarnation. With the defeat of Xiuan, the conspiracy of the Time Chasers was completely crushed. Lin Mo stood on the other side of victory, looking at the long river of history. He knew that this was not the real end. The structure of time and space is still in motion, and the cycle of fate has not completely stopped. Every rewriting of history is a new beginning, and every ending contains infinite possibilities. Lin Mo realized that he was not the only hero. Every historical figure carries his own mission and beliefs. The stories of these heroes will forever be spread on this land and become the foundation of the Shenzhou continent. Chapter 17, The Re-Enlightenment of History, the Infinite Future. As the space-time structure of the Shenzhou continent gradually stabilized, Lin Mo and his alliance began to rebuild this new world. They no longer pursue a single unity, but let the diverse cultures blend with the times and make progress together. The history of the past and the technology of the future are all skillfully combined to form a new China of China. Lin Mo knows that the fate of this world is no longer decided by just one person and one war. He chose to dedicate his strength and wisdom to this land and become the guardian of this new world. He no longer simply pursues the control of time and space, but learns how to coexist with this world, and in the infinite future, he becomes an existence that never stops exploring. In the boundless world of the Shenzhou continent, the story of Lin Mo and the heroes will continue to circulate. Their bravery and wisdom will serve as a beacon for future generations and illuminate the way to the future. Lin Mo, on the other hand, has become an existence that lives forever in history, passing on his wisdom and beliefs from generation to generation. Chapter 18, The Dawn of the Future, the Reincarnation of Fate. With the passage of time, the Shenzhou continent gradually regained its former prosperity, and the process of history started again. A new generation of heroes began to carry on Lin Mo's legacy and explore the future of this world. New times are constantly being born, and the power of history is still running silently, pushing this land forward. Lin Mo stood at the intersection of time and felt the deep power of fate. He understands that the world is always in flux, and no matter how hard he tries and changes, the cycle of fate still exists. But this is the true meaning of life, endless exploration, endless progress. This Shenzhou continent will always be a fertile ground for heroes and a temple of history, and the story of Lin Mo will never die away in this land.